Alright guys, we got a really fun one today. Let's get started now.
You can be anything you want. You can be everything you choose. Do not care.
Hey ladies and gents, your pal Rob here. Alright guys, today we're going to do a top 10 key versus key. Let's see what I have. Alright guys, our first comic are going to be Venom, issue number 9. This is the first full appearance of Dylan Brock. Anyway, this book goes for about 50 plus raw, and goes for about 200 plus and 9.8. Now my next comic here is going to be What If 105. The first appearance of, I think, Mayday Parker, Spider-Girl. I mean, this one goes for 50 plus, although this is a newsstand. Raw, and it goes for 200 plus in a 9.8. That being said, which would you choose of the two? I think because Dylan Brock is more relevant right now, and she's not, this might be the better book in the long run, but it's up to you. Which would you choose of the two? Alright, how about this one? Century number 1. This one goes for about 100 in raw, and probably about $150 to $200 in CGC 9.8. This is the first appearance of Century and the Void. So, that's our first book. Our next book is HitMonkey number 1. One shot, first appearance of HitMonkey. Second print. This book goes for $100 also. And raw, and in CGC 9.8 this book goes for 200 plus. So of the two books, which would you choose? I'm kind of leaning toward HitMonkey, believe it or not, but that's me. It's up to you guys. Which would you choose? Alright, our next comic here is going to be Ultimate Fallout 4, second print. This is the Sarah Pacelli cover. The first time we see Miles' face. And this book raw goes for about, I believe about 50-60 bucks, and in 9.8 it goes for about, I think 150 to 200 bucks. And the next book here is going to be Edge of Spider-Verse, Gwen Stacy, third print, design variant. First appearance of Spider-Gwen. So this one goes for about roughly the same, about $60, maybe $70 raw, and goes for about $150 to $200 in CGC 9.8. Of the two, which would you pick? I'm kind of leaning toward this one, but I could be wrong. You decide. Alright guys, my next books for comparison are going to be Inhumans issue 5. This is the first appearance of Black Widow, Yelena Belova. This book goes for 50 plus and raw, and it goes for about 300 plus in CGC 9.8. Now my next book here is going to be Black Widow number 1. This is the Yelena Belova cover appearance, her first cover appearance, and also this is her first issue where you find out her name. And this one goes for 50 plus in raw, and goes for roughly the same as this book goes for in CGC 9.8, although there hasn't been a sale for one of these books in 9.8 for a while. So this one is, but they're roughly the same. So the two of these books, which would you choose? The first appearance, or first cover appearance, story, and also name reveal? Alright guys, our next comics for comparison are going to be Bloodstone number 1. The first appearance of Elsa Bloodstone. And this book raw goes for about 100 bucks. And it goes for about, $400 to $500 in CGC 9.8. Next book here, Teen Titans 1. First appearance of Man Who Laughs. This book goes for about 120 raw, and goes for about $700 to $800 in CGC 9.8. Of these two, which would you choose? The Man Who Laughs or First Elsa Bloodstone? They're both cool comics. Which one do you like? Alright guys, my next book here is pretty cool. We have Vengeance #1. And this is the first appearance of America Chavez. We know she's coming to Doctor Strange 2, so the book you guys probably either have or need to get. Anyway, this raw goes for about $150. CDC 9.8, a lot more. I believe it's probably 500 plus in CDC 9.8. So there's that book, and then there's this book, America Chavez issue 8, classic Jen Bartel cover. This book raw goes for about 150, and in CDC 9.8 probably about 500 bucks. Which one do you guys like better? The first appearance or the classic cover? This is a tough one, isn't it? Her first appearance is pretty cool, and that cover is just awesome. Which would you choose? Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel #1. And this is the first appearance of Adam Brashear, the Blue Marvel, a black superhero that had to stop being a hero in the 60s due to his race. Anyway guys, this book goes for about $250 plus in raw, and goes for, believe it or not, over $1,000 plus in CGC 9.8. So there's our first book. Alright guys, my next comic is Amazing Fantasy 15. This is the first appearance of Amadeus Cho, a Korean American who becomes the Hulk, and then later on Brawn. But this book goes for about 150, 200 raw, and it goes for roughly 1,000 plus in CGC 9.8. Of the two of these, which would you pick? You decide. Alright guys, our next comics for comparison are going to be Star Wars Jedi vs. Sith #1, first appearance of Darth Bane. Anyway, this book raw goes for about 160, 180 bucks, and it goes for about $1,600 in CGC 9.8. And then our next book here is going to be Outlawed #1, the book that needs no introduction. Anyway, this one goes for, I paid $450 for it in raw, and it goes for about $1,600 plus in CGC 9.8. So roughly the same price. Which would you choose? The rarish cool cover here, or the potential of Darth Bane? You decide. Alright, our next comic is going to be Batman Beyond 1999, the first appearance of Terry McGinnis. Really popular book right now. It goes for roughly, in the first print, goes for about 400 bucks. CDC 9.8 goes for, believe it or not, $3,000. Apparently there was a sale that was $3,000. Next comic's going to be The Crow #1. This one goes for, in high grade raw, goes for about 400 or 500 bucks plus. And this is the first appearance of Eric Draven, the Crow. Classic cover, great era of comics. This comic goes for, in CGC 9.8, it goes for about 3,000 plus too, believe it or not. So, of these two really cool comics, which would you buy? I love this book, but I'm really partial to this Crow book. So it's up to you guys. Alright guys, this next one's really good. Would you choose Giant Size X-Men #1? This one's probably about a 3.5 or so, maybe 4.0. Great book. We know they're coming, guys. I hope you guys have a copy of this or somewhere in that range. Anyway, this book goes for, raw goes for about 1,300 bucks. And I think in grade it goes for about 1,500 bucks or so. CDC, 3.5, 4.0. Would you choose this book? Or would you choose this book? Darth Vader 3. This is the 1 in 25 variant. CGC 9.6. This book, raw goes for, the price is always evolving. Right now the raws go for, I don't know, 500 plus right now. And also, let me mention, this is the first appearance of Dr. Aphra, BT1, and 000. This book is going crazy right now, and in 9.8 it's going for, it's pushing $3,000 now. But anyway, this book goes for $1,000 plus right now. I think it's trending around $1,400. Both these books have great upside. We know they're coming, but when she comes, boy oh boy, better watch out. So of these two books and their current grades, which would you choose? Because I couldn't decide right now. Hey guys, if you got any value out of this video, leave a like. If you enjoyed the comics, leave a like. If you have any questions or comments about the comics, and I hope you do comment today about which comic you would choose, put them in the comment section below. And also guys, I put a poll every day in the community tab. Check it out, it's fun, just to get your opinion on certain topics, Anyway guys, make sure you have your notification turned on because I upload videos fairly frequently. Alright guys, that'll do it for today. I will see you later.